Baroness Emma Magdalna Rozália Mária Jozefa Borbála Emmuska. Orczy de Orci, commonly known as Baroness Orczy, was a Hungarian-born British novelist, playwright, and artist of noble origin. She is most known for her series of novels featuring the Scarlet Pimpernel. Some of her paintings were exhibited at the Royal Academy in London. Early life. Emmuska Orczy was born in Tarnów, Heves County, Hungary, and was the daughter of composer Baron Felix Orczy de Orci and Countess Emma Ltd. Her father, Baron Laszlo Orczy, was a royal councillor, and also Knight of the Sicilian Order of St. George. Her mother was the Baroness Magdolna Müller. Her maternal grandparents were the Count Samuel Waszczyszenty, member of the Hungarian Parliament, and Rozália Rebejesi de Karolevjeva. Emma's parents left their estate for Budapest in 1868, fearful of the threat of a peasant revolution. They lived in Budapest, Brussels, and Paris, where Emma studied music unsuccessfully. Finally, in 1880, the family moved to London, where they lodged with the countryman, Francis Pickler, at 162 Great Portland Street. Orczy attended West London School of Art and then Heatherley's School of Fine Art. Although not destined to be a painter, it was at art school that she met a young illustrator named Montague MacLean Barstow, the son of an English clergyman. They married in 1894. It was the start of a joyful and happy marriage for close on half a century, one of perfect happiness and understanding, of perfect friendship and communion of thought. Writing career. They had very little money, and Orczy started to work with her husband as a translator and an illustrator to supplement his low earnings. John Montague Orczy Barstow, their only child, was born on the 25th of February 1899. She started writing soon after his birth, but her first novel, The Emperor's Candlesticks, was a failure. She did, however, find a small following with a series of detective stories in the Royal Magazine. Her next novel, In Mary's Reign, did better. In 1903, she and her husband wrote a play based on one of her short stories about an English aristocrat, Sir Percy Blakeney, Bart, who rescued French aristocrats from the French Revolution, The Scarlet Pimpernel. She submitted her novelization of the story under the same title to 12 publishers. While waiting for the decisions of these publishers, Fred Terry and Julia Nielsen accepted the play for production in the West End. Initially, it drew small audiences, but the play ran 4 years in London, broke many stage records, was translated and produced in other countries, and underwent several revivals. This theatrical success generated huge sales for the novel. Orczy went on to write over a dozen sequels featuring Sir Percy Blakeney, his family, and the other members of the League of the Scarlet Pimpernel, of which the first, I Will Repay, was the most popular. The last Pimpernel book, Mamel Guillotine, was published in 1940. None of her 3 subsequent plays matched the success of The Scarlet Pimpernel. She also wrote popular mystery fiction and many adventure romances. Her Lady Molly of Scotland Yard was an early example of a female detective as the main character. Other popular detective stories featured the old man in the corner, a sleuth who chiefly used logic to solve crimes. Orczy's novels were racy, mannered melodramas, and she favored historical fiction. Critic Mary Cadogan states, Orczy's books are highly wrought and intensely atmospheric. In The Nest of the Sparrowhawk, for example, a malicious guardian in Puritan Kent tricks his beautiful, wealthy young ward into marrying him by disguising himself as an exiled French prince. He persuades his widowed sister-in-law to abet him in this plot, in which she unwittingly disgraces one of her long-lost sons and finds the other murdered by the villain. Even though this novel had no link to the Scarlet Pimpernel other than its shared authorship, the publisher advertised it as part of the Scarlet Pimpernel series. Later life. Orczy's work was so successful that she was able to buy a house in Monte Carlo, Villa Bijou, at 19 Avenue de la Costa. She held politically conservative views. Orczy was a firm believer in the superiority of the aristocracy, as well as being a supporter of British imperialism and militarism. During the First World War, Orczy formed the Women of England's Active Service League, an unofficial organisation aimed at the recruitment of female volunteers for active service. Her aim was to enlist 100,000 women who would pledge to persuade every man I know to offer his service to his country. Some 20,000 women joined her organisation. Orczy was also strongly opposed to the Soviet Union. She died in Henley-on-Thames on 12 November 1947. Name pronunciation. Asked how to say her name, Orczy told the Literary Digest, Orczy say, Emmuska, a diminutive meaning little Emma, accent on the first syllable, the S equivalent to our SH, thus Emmuska. Works translations. Old Hungarian fairy tales translator with Montague Barstow. The Enchanted Cat translator with Montague Barstow. Fairyland's Beauty translator with Montague Barstow. Uletka and the White Lizard translator with Montague Barstow. Plays The Scarlet Pimpernel, The Sin of William Jackson. Bow Brocade, The Duke's Wager, The Legion of Honor, adapted from A Sheaf of Bluebells. Short story collections. The Case of Miss Elliot. The Old Man in the Corner. Lady Molly of Scotland Yard. The Man in Grey. The League of the Scarlet Pimpernel. Castles in the Air. Unravelled Knots. Skin O' My Tooth. Adventures of the Scarlet Pimpernel. Novels. The Emperor's Candlesticks. In Mary's Reign. Later The Tangled Skein. The Scarlet Pimpernel, by the Gods Beloved, later released in the US as The Gates of Kamt. I Will Repay the Scarlet Pimpernel too. A Son of the People. Bow Brocade, The Elusive Pimpernel, The Scarlet Pimpernel 3. A Ruler of Princes. The Nest of the Sparrow Hawk. Petticoat Government. A True Woman. The Traitor. The Good Patriots. Fire in Stubble, Meadow Sweet, El Dorado, Unto Caesar, The Laughing Cavalier, A Bride of the Plains, The Bronze Eagle, Leatherface, Lord Tony's Wife, A Sheaf of Bluebells, Flower O' the Lily, His Majesty's Well-Beloved, The First Sir Percy, The Triumph of the Scarlet Pimpernel, Nicolette, A Tale of Old Provence, The Honourable Jim, Pimpernel and Rosemary, Les Beaux et les Dandies de Grand Siècles en Angleterre, The Miser of Maida Vale, A Question of Temptation, The Celestial City, Sir Percy Hits Back, Blue Eyes and Grey, Marie Vosa, In the Rue Monge, A Joyous Adventure, A Child of the Revolution, The Scarlet Pimpernel Looks at the World, The Way of the Scarlet Pimpernel, Espy of Napoleon, The Uncrowned King, The Turbulent Duchess, Sir Percy Leads the Band, The Divine Folly, No Greater Love, Mamelle Guillotine, Pride of Race, The Will-o'-the-Wisp, Omnibus Editions, The Scarlet Pimpernel, etc. Collection of 4 novels. The Gallant Pimpernel Collection of 4 novels. The Scarlet Pimpernel Omnibus Collection of 4 novels. Non-fiction. Links in the chain of life.